Hello guys, now we are going to discuss about hepatitis. Okay, see, what is hepatitis? First thing first, hepatitis is the inflammation of liver. Okay, so what are the viruses that can do this? Hepatitis. So there is one family of virus that love to do this. Okay, so there are how many type of hepatitis? There are basically A, B, C, D and E. Okay, so the first family is picorna virus. Picorna virus. The second one is B is Hepatidna. Hepdna. Hepatidna virus. Okay. C is Falvi. D is RNA virus. And over E is Kelsey. What? Kelsey. How to remember this? There is one mnemonics. So the mnemonics is like this: private hospitals favor rich clients. Okay, private hospitals favor rich client. Okay, so it's a mnemonics to learn the family of these viruses. So now let's discuss about first one, that is hepatitis A. Hepatitis A. This is from which family? Picorna. Okay, picorna virus family, as we just discussed. Picorna virus family. In this, you will usually find IgM antibodies in our blood serum. Okay, and remember one very important point from this, that it is the only cultivable hepatitis virus. Okay, only cultivable that we can cultivate in labs. Okay, and this hepatitis A, remember one more point, it is spread by water. Usually, yeah, most commonly it is spread by water. Okay, so now let's go to second one, that is our hepatitis B. Okay, so hepatitis B. So this hepatitis B, one very important point from this, it have double-stranded DNA. Okay, all other hepatitis viruses have RNA. Okay, but only this hepatitis B have double-stranded DNA. Only this. Okay, and it have double-stranded DNA, but it also replicated through an RNA intermediate. Usually this hepatitis B work with hepatitis D. B and D work together, but I will tell you at the time of D, hepatitis D. Okay, and see, it is very important, hepatitis B. Okay, because it have first of all double-stranded DNA, and it is most commonly that can happen in patients. Okay, so let me tell you how does it look like. See, it has structure something like this. Okay, so the outer one is, this one is surface, the another one inside, that is envelope, and the innermost is core, okay, of this hepatitis B. And one more point, if you find in the blood the hepatitis B, E for envelope, antigen, AG means antigen, hepatitis B envelope antigen, that means the person in which you find out that is in highly infectivity stage, or the person is highly infective. Okay, now 2-3 more points regarding this only. If you will find out the hepatitis B core antibody, AB means antibody, hepatitis B, C means core, okay, C for core, antibody, that means it is acute hepatitis. Acute hepatitis B. And if you will see hepatitis B surface, S for surface, antigen, AG means antigen, and at that time it's chronic. At that time it's chronic hepatitis B. Chronic hepatitis B. And see how you can find out that the disease is chronic or acute in hepatitis. If the disease is for like 6 months, okay, like 6 months or less than 6 months, then it's acute. And if it is like more than 6 months, then it is chronic. More than 6 months, then it is chronic. Okay, now, and this hepatitis B, it usually develops in chronic stage. After, it usually causes cirrhosis. Okay, now, what are the vaccine for this? As we know, we have vaccine for this. So the vaccine for hepatitis B is recombinant hepatitis B surface antigen. Okay, so we inject as vaccine we give this hepatitis B surface antigen recombinant, okay, for vaccine. And what is the test we usually do for this hepatitis? The test is ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbate assay. And it is ELISA is done with, as you all know, alkaline phosphate. Okay, that is for hepatitis B. Okay, and yeah, one more point for this hepatitis B, I forgot to tell you. See, it usually causes liver cirrhosis. Okay, and one more point, that it is usually spread by, I didn't tell you this thing, this is spread by body fluid like in the form of needles. Okay, like needles, or that injections, all those. So spread by body fluids like needles. Okay, now this is all for hepatitis B. Now let's come to hepatitis C. Hepatitis C, the family of this virus is Felvi virus family. Okay, this hepatitis C is enveloped. It is enveloped, and in this we have single stranded, it's a single stranded RNA virus. It usually spreads by blood transfusion. Okay, and it can also be seen, or it can also be transmitted to fetus, okay, in pregnancy. Basically, it depends on, it will transmit it to the fetus or not. So it depends on levels of hepatitis C virus RNA. Okay, now some more point for hepatitis C. Chance of chronicity, it can become chronic or not, okay, in hepatitis C virus is 70 to 80%. Means 70 to 80% cases it can become chronic. Okay, can it develop cirrhosis? There are very less chances, approximately 25 to 50% chances it can develop into cirrhosis. And but it usually causes, it mostly develops into, or it mostly causes liver cancer. Remember this one, which can cause liver cancer for C, and C for hepatitis. Okay, now let's come to our hepatitis D for donkey. Hepatitis D virus. Okay, as we just discussed, it's the family from RNA virus family, and basically we don't have to know much about this one. It needs help of hepatitis B virus to provide an envelope protein. Okay, it needs help of hepatitis B virus to provide an envelope protein. So obviously, as I told you, D and B work together usually. Okay, it is basically a co-infection with hepatitis B. If a person is infected with hepatitis B, it can be many chances that the patient can develop this hepatitis D also. Hepatitis D also. Now let's come to our next one, that is hepatitis E. Okay, see, this is usually a very acute disease. Okay, and the second point which we have to remember from this hepatitis E, that its family is calcivirus. Okay, it's from calcivirus family. Calcivirus family in old times. Okay, but now, like recently, it is under new family, that is Hepre vividae. Hepre vividae. Okay, it is under this family, Hepre vividae. Now, okay, you can write this like this is old and this is new. Okay, and oh, I forgot one point here. See, in this, as you can see, it's the vaccine is hepatitis B surface antigen. Okay, so if in a person you do the blood test, okay, and you find out that this one HBsAb, hepatitis surface antibody. Okay, hepatitis surface antibody, that means the person is either vaccinated or in past he have hepatitis B virus infection and he is recovered. Okay, he is recovered from it. So remember this point. All right, and basically HBsAb means the person have immunity. Okay, immunity is present in that person. Okay, now hepatitis B causes, as I told you, cirrhosis. Hepatitis C usually develops into liver cancer. Okay, and hepatitis, yeah, okay, and hepatitis D, it works with hepatitis B, that's only we need. And hepatitis E, it is usually acute. Okay, and that's all. Thank you so much.